Hey guys, welcome to Venky's Diary, another episode where we discuss cricket with the OG. So let's dive into today's episode. I've got the man with me. Diving into it, Venky, I would want to ask you the first question is, the league stages have concluded. What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, thank you very much, Kiran. I think it's wonderful to speak to you and good to see you as well. And yeah, I mean, it's been
It's a pleasure to be with the Venky's Diaries.
so. Yeah, talking about the league phase, yes, it just got over, and there's some very interesting facts, and there's some few close games that was contested. There was some good chases, big chases actually, some brilliant individual performances as well. So it's sort of a mixed bag, I would say. Yes, when I talk about those low scoring matches, Sunrise Hyderabad defending against Punjab Kings, a low scoring game. So that is one of them. And high chases. When I spoke about high chases, it was Rajasthan Royals chasing pretty big score against Chennai Super. That's another fantastic game. Of course, we saw some individual performances as well, like Ruturaj Gaikwad scoring a brilliant 100. And KL Rahul the other day again for Punjab Kings chasing a modest total, but still chase that scored just under 13 overs in a T20 match against Chennai Super Kings. That shows that there was a lot of matches that was closely contested and exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there were a lot of cliffhangers, low-scoring thrillers, high-scoring thrillers. So the four teams, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, and Calcutta. So these four teams are going to be playing it out fighting it out for the league now. Your thoughts on these four teams?
Well, I think they completely deserve to be there in the top four to go into the playoffs for the simple reason that they're playing brilliant cricket. And secondly, they had a stable 11. I would say they stuck to their 11 for a longer period of time compared to the other four teams that were in the bottom of the table, and they trusted their players. They gave them confidence even when someone was not doing well. They played as a unit, and especially the captains, Rishabh Pant and MS Dhoni, then Virat Kohli. They showed amazing leadership capabilities, leadership skills. They maneuvered the team beautifully well. I think these are all the qualities, and that's one of the reasons why these three teams are right there on top.
Yeah. I mean, interesting points that you were making, which obvious now after you've made it, is the teams that have done the least number of chop and changes are there in the top four. They have stuck to the core. That's, I think, a brilliant point. Going ahead, we can, think about that. Now, coming to individual performances, you spoke a little about that. So I want to ask you to probably think of the performance or the performer in these league stages that stood out for you, starting with the ball, not with the bat. Normally, we all start with the bat, but we'll start with the ball.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yes, I think one of the over that Karthik Tyagi bowled, I think that was brilliant, bowling the 20th over, and not allowing the international batsmen. I think it was Markram and Pooran who were batting, I suppose.
Yeah.
That was against, obviously Karthik Tyagi plays for Rajasthan Royals, young pacer, and not much of experience, but bowling an outstanding and matured over in the 20th over to defend a score against two international batsmen is something brilliant, and that shows the talent. Having said that, there was some brilliant individual performances like Yuzvendra Chahal again. I think he has bowled beautifully well. He has shown that he's a class bowler, and it was just that he lost his form, for a few matches, and that costed him the place. Can you believe it? I just can't believe that, honestly. Something like that happening to a class performer.
I think
bowler.
Ambati Raidu can believe that probably.
No, my point is that, I mean, see, it was just that, for a few games that he didn't do well, and you can't just the selectors can't just not select him because of that dip in form. I mean, he's a class bowler, and we all know that class is permanent, and that's exactly what he has shown. The delivery that he got, MS Dhoni bowled. I mean, MS Dhoni with his huge experience with winning tournaments, playing games at the crucial juncture, crucial situations, winning matches for not only his franchise, even for the India as well, failed to pick up his googly on that day. I think that
Yeah.
was brilliant deliveries that I've seen. So, so then Sakaria, he's bowling well. So
Yeah.
there is quite a few. I think there's huge amounts of talent as far as the bowlers are concerned. And Harshal,
Any thoughts on
forget
that?
Harshal Patel.
Yeah.
See, a lot of them have got their slower ones, but still, when you bowl a slower one, you need to execute it really well. I think he executed it to perfection. And when I say
Mm.
that, having myself sort of mastered the slower ball, Kiran.
You have. You have. Let's not be modest over you have.
See, what is very important when you bowl change of pace deliveries is the line and the length, both. And the length, when I say yes, I mean line and length is pretty basic, right? But again, you got to stump, one, and you got to bowl up to the batsman.
Yeah.
Okay, pace normally a lot of bowlers tend to bowl it short. So I mean, when you bowl short, you are giving that much more time for the batsman to adjust.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so I
Any
think he.
thoughts? Any thoughts on the new pace kid Umran Malik?
Oh, absolutely, yes, absolutely. You're spot on, Kiran. I think he's a wonderful, great attitude. Fitness is fantastic. His run up is beautiful. I think when I say beautiful, there is attitude when he runs. When I say attitude, I think the body language is really positive when he runs in to bowl, and his action is beautiful. He's got a very good side on action. Finishes it beautifully well, and his seam position is really good. So he's definitely a quick bowler for the future as far as India is concerned. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, there's a mixed bag of bowlers that you mentioned, all of them doing well and having probably a great future ahead. Moving on to the batters now. So, any particular performances or performers that have stood out for you?
I mentioned about Rituraj's consistency, in his performance and his 100 that he scored. I think that is brilliant. The way he finishes it off, I think that was brilliant. The way he takes his innings, the way he builds his innings, and he has shown that by playing proper cricketing shots, Kiran, that you can still score a lot of runs. You don't have to play those
Yeah.
lap shots or reverse sweep shots or switch hits and stuff like that. So I think he has played through the line, played with the spin, used his feet for the spinners. I think he's a class act, I would say. And how can we forget KL Rahul's innings against Chennai Super Kings? Single-handedly won the game for Punjab Kings. Chasing a modest total, but still single-handedly he chased down that score in just under 13 overs against CSK, and that shows his ability to change gears. I think that's exactly what he did. I mean, people were talking about his strike rate. If
Yeah, they
you
were.
remember, I mean, everybody were talking about his strike rate not being, good or not being on the higher side, but he has shown that he can change gears at will. And for me, as far as the Indian batsmen are concerned, I would say KL Rahul is a Mr. 360.
Yeah. Fair enough. And I mean, just a little off topic from where we are discussing right now. He's going to bring in a lot of because you have Rohit, you have Virat who has expressed he wants to open, and now you have KL in a life of his form.
Yeah, it's going to be a dilemma. I'm telling you, for the it's a headache for the team management. I would say going forward in the World Cup, because he's in great form. KL Rahul is in great form, and of course, as you rightly mentioned, Virat Kohli has expressed that he would like to open the innings for India. And now with, I mean, you can't ask Rohit to bat number 3. And when KL is in good form, obviously you have to go in with KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma to open. So then Virat Kohli has to play at number 3. As simple as that. And I think this is how it's going to be. In the World Cup. So I would say it's going to be KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma to open, Virat Kohli at number 3. 4 could be either Ishan Kishan or Surya Kumar Yadav. 5 is anyway Rishabh Pant. 6 is Hardik Pandya. 7 is Jadeja, and the remaining 4 are bowlers. As simple as that. That's how they're going to stick to. So you cannot literally leave out KL Rahul after this sort of a performance. That has come from him in this IPL, and he's also at the moment the orange cap holder. That shows what he can do.
I think we have to do another episode of Venky's Diaries where we dissect the Indian team, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of places for up grabs still. There are a lot of speculations over there, but let's do that on another episode. It's going to be interesting for the viewers as well. Now back to IPL and the league stages. Fielding, I don't want to ask you for one particular catch or one particular fielding effort. Overall, we know that international cricket demands a high level of fielding standards. What have you got to say about the fielding standards of this edition so far?
Well, we have seen some, mixed standard, I would say, because there are a few times where I think players have taken some brilliant catches just out of the blue. That's amazing. So obviously, when you take those catches, when you convert those half chances, you pretty much gain that advantage and take the team towards winning the match. But having said that, we saw a few catches that was dropped, a few misfields, which has costed them the game. And the immediate thing that comes to my mind is it's Chennai Super Kings and Delhi Capitals game in the league phase, of course, where Krishnappa Gautam as a substitute, he comes there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, reverse cup. I mean, you could have easily taken it the Indian way, but he tried to catch it in the reverse cup with a reverse cup, and obviously drops it. It was Hetmeyer, if I remember right, who was striking the ball. And they lose the game from there on. They were very much in control, Chennai Super Kings, but then after the drop catch, they lose the game. So that shows how taking catches can pretty much change the course of game. And what about the game Royal Challengers Bangalore and Delhi Capitals? In fact, Delhi Capitals lost the game, the last league match against Royal Challengers Bangalore, only because of their catching and miss. Shreyas Iyer on one side dropped a sitter immediately. Just after a ball or two, Ashwin dropped another sitter, and Akshar Patel misfields in the last over, gives another extra run, and eventually Delhi Capitals lose the game. Yeah. Perhaps I think if you look at all these things at hindsight, fielding is something which is in your control. Yeah. Sometimes in bowling might not go your way, but fielding is definitely in your control, and everybody has to be accountable and responsible as far as fielding is concerned, because that can change the game completely.
So you would say overall it's been a mixed bag so far. Some great performances with in the field and some lapses as well. Fair enough. I think that's a pretty bang on observation over there. And finally now, to wrap up the show, I want to ask you a question that is kind of a googly. I don't know how we're going to hit it. You might hit it out of the park for all we know. So I wanted to name one team. It could be at the top of the table or the bottom, which has maybe surprised you or shocked you or made you pull your hair out or, made your jaws drop. Any of these things. One team.
Oh, that's pretty easy to pick. Definitely not a googly for sure. Because the team the team that comes to my mind, I'm going to pick is Punjab Kings. It's very simple for me. They have goofed up. I think that's the only team I feel which can lose. Being very much in control of the game.
They've done that twice or thrice.
Absolutely. They should be winning a few matches, but from the winning position, they have lost matches. One. And secondly, Anil Kumble being the coach and being a leg spinner, how did he make this mistake of not playing Ravi Bishnoi early in this phase 2? I think it took 2 or 3 games after the phase 2 that he was brought in, and what a performer he was for for Punjab Kings. And what else? I mean, Chris Gale leaving the IPL bubble, citing fatigue.
History of Chris Gayle, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, was it really a fatigue, or was it something else? Was it a lack of communication, a clear communication from the team management about his position, or
Mm.
definitely I feel there was lack of clarity as far as the roles of players are concerned. So I think they have done this, Kiran, not just once. I think probably I'm trying to be being very honest here. They have done it season after season, I feel. So
They've been, you're saying that they've been consistent at doing this.
it looks like that. Yeah, it looks like that. They failed to, and they've got an amazing team. There's no doubt about it. Very good players, but for some reason they've lost games. As I said, from winning positions they have lost games.
Yeah. And finally, just before we wind this up, any just brief thoughts on the first qualifiers that we get to see, DC and CSK?
It's going to be a thriller. It's going to be a thriller because DC wants to get into the finals, and they don't want to play another game. So win the game for both the teams, not just for DC and CSK. They would like to play the first match, qualifier one, and win the game, get into the finals directly. Otherwise, you have to play another game. The winner of the eliminator match. So which they don't want to do. So in that sense, I think it's going to be a thriller because both of them want to win the game, and go to the finals directly. Having said that, both of them will be coming into the qualifier one with a loss. The previous, where they lost the previous game. Of course, Chennai Super Kings have lost 3 matches on the trot, but it was DC is just one game that they lost against Royal Challengers Bangalore. But if you look at it, because we'll talk about this much more later on, I suppose.
Oh, no, absolutely. We are doing another episode on that because there are a lot of things that needs to be covered. The pitch, the dimension, the boundaries, a lot of things, So we will do that once again for the particular match. But for now, I would like to thank you, Venky. Thanks for being on the show and telling us about what you think.
Thank you very much, Kiran. Lovely talking to you.